Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a really crucial choice for anyone working with AI, picking the right GPU. And this decision goes way beyond just your budget. It literally defines the speed, the scale, and what's even possible for your projects. So let's picture this. You're ready to build your AI rig for 2025. You've got the project, but now you've hit a huge fork in the road. Do you go with tried and true brute force power, or do you bet on a newer, more efficient architecture? And this choice really comes down to a classic battle, right? It's the old school versus the new school. This isn't just about comparing numbers on a spec sheet. It's a real clash of philosophies between raw, established power and smart, next-gen efficiency. So, in one corner, we have the heavyweight veteran, the GeForce RTX 3080, a card that's known for being an absolute workhorse. And in the other corner, you've got the challenger, the GeForce RTX 5070, a newcomer built from the ground up on a really forward-thinking, efficient design. All right, let's get into round one. We're talking about the brains of the operation here, the core architecture. This is where all the magic happens, and frankly, where we see some of the biggest differences between these two. Okay, but first, we've got to get our heads around a key concept, AI precision. Think about it like this. Traditional precision, let's say FP16, is like writing out a full, detailed sentence. Lower precision, like the new FP4, is like using a clever shorthand. It's less exact, sure, but for an AI model that's already been trained, what we call inference, that shorthand is way smaller, way faster, and a whole lot more efficient. And this is where you really see that massive generational leap. The 3080, with its Ampere architecture, relies on its third-gen tensor cores. These are specialized processors just for AI math, to crunch through those FP16 operations. But then you look at the 570's Blackwell architecture, and it's playing a whole different game. Its 5th-gen cores natively understand that super-efficient FP4 shorthand. And look, this native FP4 support isn't just some small, incremental upgrade. It's a fundamental shift. It completely changes how the GPU approaches AI. It's the very definition of working smarter, not just harder. So what does that actually mean for you in the real world? Well, it means you can take a massive AI model, one that's, say, over 20 gigabytes, and you can shrink it down, quantize it, so it fits comfortably within the 5070's 12 gigs of memory. This makes high-end AI more accessible than it has ever been. All right, next up, let's talk brawn. We're talking memory and bandwidth. This is all about how fast these cards can shovel data into their processing cores to keep them fed. Okay, so if you're just looking at the raw spec sheet, this looks like a total knockout for the veteran, right? The RTX 3080 12GB has this massive data highway with over 900 gigabits per second of bandwidth. For data-hungry tasks like training, that's a huge advantage. But the 5070 has a really clever trick up its sleeve, a gigantic L2 cache. Think of cache as this super fast memory right on the chip itself. At 48 megabytes, the 5070's cache is 8 times bigger than the 3080's. It's like having a huge, high-speed workbench right next to the cores, so it doesn't need to use that main data highway nearly as much. It's another win for smart, efficient design. Okay, now for stamina. Because it's not just about raw speed, right? It's about efficiency. How much juice do these things actually guzzle to get the work done? Let's take a look. And wow, the difference here is pretty stark. The RTX 5070 pulls off all its magic while using a full 100 watts less power than the 3080. That's a huge deal. We're talking less heat, a quieter rig, and yeah, a smaller electricity bill. So we've looked at the brains, the brawn, and the stamina. The big question is, which one do you put in your corner? How do you pick your champion? So here it is, the tale of the tape. We've got all the key specs laid out side by side. And you can really see the story here, can't you? It's the 3080's pure raw bandwidth versus the 5070's modern features and incredible efficiency. So what's the bottom line? It really all comes down to your priority. If you're deep in the trenches of AI training and you need every last drop of bandwidth right now, the RTX 3080 is a powerful, proven beast. But if your focus is on AI inference, running those latest compressed models, and you want a card that's truly built for the future, the RTX 5070 is, without a doubt, the clear winner. And hey, if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty and see all the specific benchmarks for your own projects, you should definitely check out the full analysis over at Best GPUs for AI. Don't worry, we've dropped the link for you in the description. This whole showdown, it isn't just about picking between two graphics cards. It points to a much bigger question for the future of AI hardware. What's going to matter more? Will the next wave of innovation be powered by more brute force, or is the path forward all about intelligent, efficient design? It really makes you think.